This video is the first video of a series I will be doing on my channel, which is called Horror ASMR, in which I regale you with tales of horror read from Reddit, creepypasta, stories about serial killers, kidnapping, stalking, paranormal, unexplained situations, etc. If you're interested in this sort of video, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would also like to inform you that starting October, I will be going back to updating consistently on booktube. So I hope you guys enjoy my double content, booktube and horror ASMR. I would also like to inform you that I will be uploading the ASMR once a week on Fridays. So I hope you guys enjoy. And now, without further ado, let's get to the video. Story number 1 is from Reddit, which is titled, 2 Men Who Would Not Take No for an Answer. As a teen, I am Canadian, young adult. I worked coat check at a small dive bar in a rural university town with a population of about 4,000, and during the school months, 4,000 more. I got approached by men a lot, sometimes hitting on me, sometimes angry with me, either about the ATM or their missing coat check ticket. They never took no for an answer when they asked if they could take me home. Even though I had a boyfriend at home, I had work left to do. I was tired. Please don't take this story as humble bragging at any point. I'm really not super attractive, which I think makes me a bigger target for violence, as these very entitled men who tried to bully me into going home with them likely saw me as vulnerable, or likely to be desperate. When they were angry with me, they had no qualms about quickly resorting to threats or violence. One guy threw a tantrum and started calling me names because I wouldn't kiss him, even after he had already taken my hand and kissed it. One night, when the bar was already supposed to be closed, 2 guys wearing very nice, very expensive-looking suits approached my coat check counter while I was counting my till, kind of off in my own corner. They had not checked coats with me. I hadn't actually seen them in the bar prior that night, and they did not seem drunk. They had foreign accents, and I won't say where they were from, but I could place the countries as ones across the world. They were tall, had perfect hair, skin, teeth, and clothes. They were very attractive. Honest to God, they could have been models. They told me they wanted me to leave the bar with them, speaking together as though it were a sales pitch. They informed me they had rented a cottage out somewhere and they had it fully stocked with alcohol. They wanted me to drink with them, just the 3 of us, not an offer to party like I sometimes got. I told them no, I was tired, no, I had a boyfriend. They told me I wasn't happy with my boyfriend, proceeded to frame my relationship in a bad light, and that I could sleep at their place. I told them I had school. They told me not to worry. They could do my homework for me. I had to stay a while longer at my job. They told me not to worry about my job. My boss wouldn't mind it if I left. When did I get off? They could wait outside for me. They had lots of alcohol they wanted to share with me. They had lots of money. I ended up calling over my manager and asking him to please make them leave because they wouldn't back off. Because they wouldn't back down off this sales pitch, and they would not leave. All I knew was that if I left with them, things were going to go badly. Usually, when guys offered to take me home, they weren't nearly as persistent as this. These two guys calmly and methodically shut down every way I tried to worm out of it. And other guys had approached me using a wingman before, but this time both of them were simultaneously trying to pick me up. I mean, it was entirely possible they just wanted me to drink with them, but I had had no prior conversation with them. They literally opened with the invitation. Maybe they wanted a threesome, but they were way above my league. I'm good looking, but not that good looking, and besides that, other contextual clues led me to believe they were business partners. Plus, although I don't think the countries they were from have Tinder was in full swing at that point. I think it's more likely they had some sort of nefarious plans, but I'll never know. I just hope I never meet them or anybody like them ever again. Even if they weren't creeps, I wasn't interested in them because I had my lovely man bear at home waiting for me. When I say no, please just leave. I'm really interested to hear other people's thoughts. This encounter has always left a bad taste in my mouth above all others. What I would like to say about this story is, dear men, when a woman says no, please, for the love of all things holy, accept her answer and kindly fuck off. Story number 2. So I'm posting this for my boyfriend who doesn't use Reddit much. It'll be from his perspective. This may be short because he doesn't remember a whole lot since he was 7 at the time, and his parents never told him much, but I'm including the key details he does remember. So when I was 7 years old, I went to a small school in our little oilfield town in Alberta. There was this guy named Daniel. I don't know if that's his real name, but when I think of him, my mind defaults to that. Well, Daniel had slept with my mom ages before I was even conceived, and somehow had it in his brain that I was his child, full-blown delusional. So Daniel decided the smart and rational thing to do was to stalk me. Hardcore. He apparently plotted out a map to my school. He knew my name. He knew how old I was. He knew what I looked like. I have no idea how he got this information. My mom never really used Facebook Facebook, and he lived in a different province. I had never met this man before. Daniel decided that one day he wanted to take it a step further. He had been ranting to his wife about me and kept telling her I was his kid, and that he was going to drive from British Columbia all the way to Alberta to come kidnap me and bring me back to BC with him. He was convinced I was conceived earlier than I was, and I was his kid, and my mom made some conspiracy to hide the fact that I was his kid. He had a whole plan for how to kidnap me, down to the date he was going to do it. His wife decided to call my mom and warned her, and my mom decided to put safety measures up, like making sure I was in groups and I had to be home by 4, etc. I was only told about all this when I was about 14 and still don't know all the details. Obviously, he never went through with his plan. So Daniel, who for some reason thought I was his kid and planned to kidnap 7-year-old me, let's not meet. Edit 1. Boyfriend just told me a detail he forgot. Apparently Daniel wanted to kidnap him also to force his mom to get back together with him, despite his mom being married and him also being married. What a creep. Edit 2. Wow, we didn't expect this to blow up like this. Someone even do a reading of it on YouTube. It's good quality, so I recommend you all check it out. All I would like to say about this story is Creeper Daniel. Let's never meet. Number 3. Stranger online knows more about me than he should. I was recently reminded of this story after telling it to some friends. This happened around 2011 when I was still in high school. At that time, I really enjoyed PC gaming and eventually started getting into a specific MMORPG. I wasn't really good at it, but wasn't playing to make friends or anything, only joining parties when absolutely necessary. For a few months, I just logged on and played some quests and did the usual thing. Because it was so long ago, excuse that I can't remember all the game-specific terminology. Now, if I remember correctly, the game worked as follows. Some areas, like cities or towns, were public spaces, so when there, you would be able to interact with other people also currently there in their respective gameplay. If someone wasn't actually in your party, you would have no contact with them when entering into a private space outside. One day, when moving about in one of the public areas, I was approached by another player. We'll call him Andrew, just chatting to me. He was friendly, and I really didn't sense any red flags. It was a very standard interaction, but also probably one of my first that wasn't quest related. Andrew was friendly and offered to help me with whatever I needed to do in the game next. At some point, he just randomly asked whether I'm really a girl. My avatar was female, but my username didn't really offer any information relating to my gender. So I confirmed, albeit confused, that I'm a girl, and that seemed to be it. We continued on from there, did the quest, and after adding him as a friend, I logged off eventually. Everything seemed fine. A few days later, I played again, and with what I assume must have been newfound confidence in my friend Megan's skills thanks to Andrew, I did a quest with some other people who offered to let me join their guild. I was sorta stoked because I have never had a guild offer before. So I immediately accepted and joined their guild, even though it was tiny and unimportant. I was happy. The next day, I log in and Andrew is also online. The game publicly showed your guild affiliation, and he's immediately angry, I guess. He reprimands me that I shouldn't just join any guild and demands I leave the guild because he wanted me to join his guild instead. I'm very confused, but feel like I have somehow betrayed my friend. So I do as he asked and accept his invitation to join his guild. Though I felt bad for just immediately dropping my previous guild, I do cheer up a bit when I know that Andrew's guild is rated insanely high. Next time I log in is where things start getting weird. Just to clarify, I had never exchanged any personal information with Andrew. All he knew about me is that I identify as female. Not only did I value my privacy in-game, and I had never exchanged personal information with anyone on there, I never posted on any public forum about the game, never joined a game-related group, and I hadn't even liked it on Facebook. As far as I know, there was no way to link me to my account, but I log in and Andrew greets me in the chat by my full name and surname. Now my surname was not related to my actual name, and I had never told him anything personal about myself, including my name and surname, so I was very confused. However, I assumed perhaps since I haven't been playing that long, I just didn't totally understand all the mechanisms of the game, and perhaps my name was available somewhere. His messages became weirder, more invasive and sexual. I remember him specifically saying, "I can't live not knowing what it feels like to touch your skin." "Okay, Buffalo Bill." Followed by many messages of him speculating what I must feel and smell like. Once again, "Okay, Buffalo Bill." I log off and have no idea what to do. As stupid as I am, I decide to try and freak him out, so I do some snooping of my own. I remember all I did was look up the guild's Facebook group, and I think he was one of the admins. Brackets, he was the guild leader, I believe so, it wasn't so hard, in brackets. At this point, I didn't know his full name yet either, but it was easy to figure out. Let's say his surname in-game was Andrew, just one letter off from the admin called Andrew. Next time I logged back into the game, he was online as well. Once again, he greets me by my full name and surname. I respond with the same since I now know what his name and surname is. However, he is unfazed. He responds by asking me how things were in my neighborhood and at my school by naming them both. He knows where I live and where I go to school. I still don't know how he got that information since it wasn't publicly available anywhere. I still have his full name and surname and checked his Facebook a while back out of sheer curiosity. He's a professor at a University of Science and Technology. TLDR, I never told him my name or where I live. He knows my name and where I live. Also, he wants to smell me. Well, my answer to that extremely creepy story